Hello everybody, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your channel, the Voice of London channel. I'm happy to see you again. I first wrote this subject in Arabic, but I decided to translate it in English so that I can share it with non-Arabic speaking all over the world, because it's an important subject and a very sensible one as well. And it's called Islamophobia. It's a new phenomenon of hate and prejudice against Islam or Muslims. It is used by the enemies of this religion, like infidels, atheists, and hypocrites, including some Jews and Christians, to distance non-Muslims from this religion, intimidate them from it, and give them a bad and wrong image of Islam. By misleading, lying, falsifying facts, and concealing them from people so that they do not know the truth about this religion and remain ignorant of its principles, teachings, and secrets. And the reason is the fear of the spread of Islam all over the world at a worrying rate, and the entry of all nationalities into it in droves. So the West began to ally itself with America to fight Islam and try to eliminate it or put an end to its spread and expansion. So they made plans, spent billions, and waged wars on Muslims, but they did not succeed, because Islam is still spreading and roaming all continents, and also has begun to seep into their homes and families, whether they like it or not. What undoubtedly helped in this is the emergence of the internet, especially social networking site or social media. So the masks fell off, the lies were exposed, and the truth appeared. And is there nothing but misguidance after that? This new phenomenon emerged to attack Islam with various artificial methods like racism, wars, and terrorism, as well as the dissemination of hate speech, discrimination, and incitement, which led to the rise of the far-right movements in Europe and America. For example, Geert Wilders, the extremist Dutch MP, a member of the Dutch parliament, who stated that the Netherlands is no longer the same, as that, and that he is destroyed by the increasing numbers of Muslims, and who incited against Islam by setting up a competition for insulting cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and who was convicted by the Dutch courts, and who beat his popularity on hostility to Islam and immigrants. And he has received death threats and been living in hiding ever since. And from France, Marine Le Pen, the leader of the far right, who was prosecuted by the French courts for inciting ethnic hatred. And from Denmark, Rasmus Paludan, leader of the Hardline Party, to whom the Swedish authorities gave the right to burn a copy of the Noble Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Stockholm. And in recent days, Selwan Momika, a malicious and cowardly atheist who is of Iraqi origin, was given permission by the Swedish police to burn a copy of the Holy Quran. He's from ISIS terrorist regime. He was arrested in Iraq in 2017 on charges of war crimes. He was sent to prison, and he was released from it with international support. after which he enters Sweden as a political refugee. Then strangely, the Swedish government declared that it condemns the burning of the Quran and is opening an investigation on charges of incitement against an ethnic group. And the question that arises, I wonder who rules Sweden? On one hand, the European Union stated that the burning of the Quran is insulting and a clear provocation. On the other hand, the United Nations warns against the spread of hate speech in all its forms. And there were also some Western and Arab statements and positions which in their entirety denounce Sweden for allowing this to happen in her soil and giving permission to it, and which harms Muslims. How long will we remain silent about Sweden's challenge to Muslims and attack against Islam and its sanctities? The time has come to confront this evil country in a legal, peaceful and civilized manner, and to put pressure on those responsible for its administration to shoulder their responsibilities before the international community and the Islamic world. Also, we have to take some temporary measures so that Sweden may come to its senses and stop its brutal and unjust attack on Muslims and Islam without reasonable causes or rights, like the summoning of the Muslim ambassadors in Sweden, and the Kingdom of Morocco was one of the first countries to take this decision. And cutting off economic relations with Sweden, including trade, industry, tourism and finance. Finally, we should boycott Swedish products in Islamic countries in support of our true religion and in defense of our holy book, the Quran. I had previously visited this ill-fated country in the past and was shocked by the degeneration and the decline of its society, like the spread of homosexuality, adultery, drugs, and atheism. And most of their children are illegitimate children, and suicide is very common. And now I will let you have a look at these pictures, and we will meet again, God willing, inshallah. The Quran because it contradicts their evil desires and its valuable instructions pose a danger to their corrupted way of life, which is an ideology of living that follows instincts, whims, and animal desires without morals, values, or principles. While Islam calls for good manners, charity, and human values, it also enjoins good justice and equality and forbids indecency, evil, and racism. It is a religion of love and brotherhood. not of hate and abuse. Islam is a faith of tolerance and peace that rejects hatred, injustice, and evil. It calls for belief in the one God through wisdom, good advice, and tolerance. Unfortunately, Islam is going through some difficult times as nations from the East and the West flock to it. It is attacked and assaulted in all fields: the family, the school, the press, the media, the social networking sites, and the politics. Despite this, it is getting stronger, prouder, and more victorious, and is spreading and blooming all over the world, because it is the religion of truth, and it is undoubtedly the inevitable result of every human being created with inborn cognition and common sense and searching for the truth. Every day, month, and year, thousands of people convert to Islam. For example, according to Guinness, approximately 12.5 million more people converted to Islam than people converted to Christianity between 2015 and 2020. The number of Muslims around the world is predicted to increase rapidly in the future, from about 1.6 billion in 2010 to nearly 2.8 billion in 2050. Muslims are expected to grow twice as fast as the overall global population. As of 2023, 2 billion, or about 25% of the world populations, are Muslims. And the enemies of Islam stand in front of this cosmic truth, disappointed, defeated, and powerless. It is the duty of all Muslims, especially scholars, jurists, scientists, politicians, journalists, teachers, sportsmen, and intellectuals, to work hard to correct the misconceptions about Islam as much as possible in all parts of the world, through dialogue, education, debates, knowledge, advice, and preaching, with respect, coexistence, and tolerance, so that we may be able to eliminate the phenomenon of Islamophobia, or at least limit its spread. Philosopher George Bernard Shaw said, "Islam is the religion in which we find the good deeds of all religions, but we do not find the good in other religions." Islam has proved from its early hours that it is the religion of all races, as it included Salman al-Farisi, Bilal al-Habashi, and Suhaib al-Rumi. So everyone melted into one crucible. Finally, when a Muslim defends his land, his family, his honor, his faith, and himself, they call him an extremist or a terrorist. But when they attack our religion, our faith, our prophets, and our Holy Quran, they call it freedom of expression or freedom of speech. This is the height of contradiction, ignorance, and hypocrisy. And from this channel, I would like to invite all non-Muslims to study Islam, to read the Quran, and go through the life of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and then make judgment for yourself. And I am sure you will find your way. Because Islam is not only the true religion of God, but it is also the best way of life for humanity. May God bless you all.